Hello, today I'm going to show you how to make this fun 3-point arrow card. I think you're really going to enjoy it. It's a really fun fold. Hello, welcome to Winged Horse Designs. I'm Donna Goodwin. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator located in Brookings, South Dakota. I think you're really going to enjoy this video. I do classes here at my house once a month, so if you're in the Brookings, South Dakota local area, you can attend classes from me. I also do classes every Wednesday from 11 to noon, so check my website and you can see different places where you might be able to attend a class if you're local and would like to see how to make different things. This month we are making fun folds. So I'm going to switch camera and get started with this class. Okay, so when it's laying flat, it doesn't look like much, but when it stands up, let's see if we can, but when it stands up, it really looks special. So what we need for I'm going to kind of let it lay flat here a little bit. I'm using the stamp set that doesn't get a lot of love much anymore because it's been around for a couple years, the Peaceful Moment stamp set, because I like this particular greeting right here, and it fit well on the front of my card. And for these pieces on the front for the birthday, I used the circle and the oval from the All That die set. You won't need to write the measurements down as they are in the description. So I started with a card base that's your standard size card base of 5.5 by 8.5 inches. We're going to do some scoring and some cutting on that. And then you'll need a strip that measures, mine is 5/8 of an inch, but anywhere from 1/2 inch to a full inch depending on the width of the little Velcro that I used. So that you could lay it flat to write on. And I could certainly have put some more white panels on the back here too if I wanted to. But this little piece here lets it stand up, because without it, I'll just leave it off, without it, it kind of falls a little flat and doesn't want to stand up. So if you put this little stand on the back, then your card will stand up when it's sitting on a table or a mantle. And that measures, mine measures 5/8 of an inch by 8 1/4 inches, scored in the middle, and then I scored it at 5/8 of an inch from either end. That'll hold our stand. To hold our sentiment, there actually is a mechanism back, or kind of a holder back here that holds that. And it measures 1 inch by 3 inches, scored at 1/2 inch, 1 inch, 2 inches, and 2.5 inches. And then you'll need some designer series paper. And I chose to use 2 different papers. Please do stick through to the end. I have some other samples to show you. You'll need 2 pieces that measure 3 1/4 inches by 4 inches. We're going to do some cutting on those. And the reason I say 2 is because when we make this diagonal cut, when we have this one, then in order to get this one on this side, we would have to flip it. And so you'd have different patterns on the 2 opposite ends. You could certainly do that if you wanted to, but you can use those extra pieces for something later. These are our center piece, and we're going to do some cutting on that. And then some more pieces for these inner panels. So like I said, the measurements are in the description. 1 ink color cherry cobbler. So I'm going to start with this piece first, and I'm going to bring in my ruler and a pencil. And my ruler was here just a second ago. Now we'll use this larger centering ruler, it'll work. And I'm going to put a little tick mark 2 inches from the top edge. And then I'm going to draw a line across. And you can draw a line all the way across, and then you'll do some erasing later. I'm just simply going to bring it in a little bit. I'm going to come in 2 inches and 1/8 of an inch, and draw that line. And then I'm going to draw up, actually we want to score first. Because I do need that center score line. So we're going to score it 4 1/4 inches, score it in half. And I'll bring this back in just a moment. Then we're going to take the ruler and we're going to go from here to the center point, and from this here to the center point. Now if it's easier for you, you can certainly draw your line all the way across. It's a little tough to see. You can draw your lines all the way across and then erase it afterward. I just found it, since I have this nice long centering ruler, that it's easier for me just to come into the 2 1/8 and into the 2 1/8, which is basically halfway, or a quarter, halfway between the edge and the fold. And then I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut this piece away. Now you're already watching me on Facebook, or on YouTube, excuse me, but if you like to watch on Facebook, here's my Facebook page. I do live videos every Monday morning at 10 a.m. and I stream them to both YouTube and Facebook at the same time. We can save these pieces for some other little scrap somewhere along the line. So I have my template here. Now I have template over on my blog post that you can look at that's much cleaner and nicer than this, but I have all my little drawings and measurements in here. I am going to score from this center point of the fold, this center point of this fold to this point, and then from the center point to this point. So I'm going to bring my trimmer back in, make sure my cutting blade is out of the way, and I'm going to line this point into the groove and this point of the score line into the groove, and I'm going to make a score. And then I'm going to take it from tip to this center point, and make a score, so that we have a score line here, here, and here, and I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. So I'm just going to line up the center score line in the groove and the corner here in the groove and score them, and then tip to center score line. I found this card over on Pinterest from a demonstrator in the United Kingdom, and it was in centimeters, so I had to do a little bit. We want this fold to be a mountain fold, our center fold, so I had to do a little bit of conversion from centimeters to inches. And then I wanted, the card was 6 inches by 6.5 inches, and I wanted a card that was a standard size card. So I've done a mountain fold, a valley fold, and a mountain fold. Same thing on the other side. And so we have our 3 peak fold. And the wonderful part about this is when you fold it all up to go in the envelope, it'll look like this. So it'll fold up nice and small. And I definitely have much cleaner templates over on my blog page to look at. So then what I did to try and decide how to cut my pieces is I took tracing paper, the real thin tracing paper, so that I could see through it. And I used that as my guide to figure out where to cut these. So we're going to start with the center pieces, which are these two pieces here. And I'm going to measure down the two sides. We'll use this ruler. To 1 5/8 of an inch. And I'm going to make a little tick mark. And I'm going to do and this is on the outside edges, so it'll be this point that we're measuring to. Now I'm going to bring the trimmer back in. And for the right side, I'm going to cut from this tick mark to this corner here. Put my scoring blade out of the way. So again, I'm going to line these up in the groove. And I'm going to cut. And save that piece for something else. Then I'm going to spin it, and I'm going to go from this one to this corner. And this is our right center piece. We're going to do the same thing on the other one, going the opposite direction. I just like this Day at the Farm paper. And I like this red piece that's got just the white outline of different farm pieces. Farm animals, barns, silos. That'll be the left side of our center. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut the outer panels. And if you have directional paper, you really want to keep this in mind. For the left panel, I want to cut from the upper left corner to the lower right. So there's my left panel. For the right panel, I want to cut from the upper right to the lower left. And there I have my right and my left pieces. Here come the tricky ones. Our left and our right inner pieces. So I used my tissue paper again, but I have this measurement there. So we're going to start by cutting, for our left side, we're going to cut from the upper right corner to the bottom left. Oh, I didn't do a very good job on that one. And then we're going to measure down 1 3/8 of an inch along the diagonal cut. And we're going to cut from the upper left corner to that tick mark. And this will give us this piece here. We're going to do the same thing, but on the right side, we're going to go the opposite direction. So we're going to cut from the upper left to the lower right. And then along this diagonal, we're going to measure to 1 3/8 inches. And we're going to cut from this little tick mark up to this corner up here. And we have this piece here. Then we'll need a piece of white for the back. Now, I'm just doing the outside panels on the back, but we needed to measure 4 inches by 3 1/4 inches, just the same as this piece here. And we're going to cut from corner to corner. Now, since this is white, we don't need 2 pieces because we can just simply flip this piece. So now comes gluing it all together. This is actually the easy part. We're going to start with our sentiment holder. And I'm going to move all these pieces off. And I'm going to put glue just on these outside pieces. I'm going to pinch them together, and I'm going to put them in the middle right on the fold line. And so here is our sentiment holder. And that one didn't stick very well, so I didn't give it enough time to dry before I started playing with it. And now we can put our center pieces in. Oh, I grabbed the wrong one. That's why it's not working. There we go. And glue those in. And these pretty papers will cover up that little bitty hinge in there. And we'll glue these in. If you just follow the templates on my website, on my blog post, and the link to that is also in the description, it'll be much easier to cut these pieces than to try and figure them out for yourself. Unless you're really good at math and like math. But I know that most of the people who follow me really don't like the ruler all that much. And if you don't already have a demonstrator in the United States, I'd love to be your demonstrator, and here's my February host code. That link is also in the description. So I'm over here on YouTube. I post on YouTube over here on YouTube. Listen to me. I post on YouTube twice a week, Mondays and Fridays. Monday is a live and Friday is like this one. It's just an uploaded video. And then over on Facebook, I post 3 projects a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then just other fun information, usually Stampin' Up! Sales, etc. on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So here's all our panel pieces. Let's go ahead and put the panels on the back. Now for panel on the back, I'm going to put some adhesive on the inside of one side here. And I'm going to glue that to the bottom of our white panel. And then we'll glue this panel down. This kind of acts as a little handle. And we're going to go ahead and glue this panel down. And then I'm going to attach this with a small little Velcro. And these are tiny little Velcros. You can find them in the sewing section. And I just like to go ahead and stick mine together for storage purposes, one side or the other. So one side is clear and one side is white. I'm going to peel off the backing from the clear side. I'm going to leave them attached. And on the outside edge, I'm going to attach these Velcro dots close to the score line. And then I'm going to peel that backing off, and we're going to close this up. Now you'll notice when you close this that this fold is coming over this fold, so it's not going to fold as nicely and cleanly. So we're just going to put a little notch in here. It'll still hold and secure, but this now allows all these pieces to fold up against it. So I'm just going to hold it back and fold my card up and push it down against it. And now my Velcro is held and my card will stand up. We have one more. I'm going to go ahead and take it apart while I'm going to go ahead and take the Velcro pieces apart so that we can work on our sentiment. So I already cut out a white piece from that He's All That, the oval. I'm going to stamp it with cherry cobbler. You could also stamp the back side of these with a sentiment if you wanted to. I just haven't decided who I'm going to send it to yet. And because this 3-peak card has so much going on with the 3 peaks and the designer series paper, I have decided not to put any embellishments on it this time. So we're just going to glue this onto this starburst type of circle. And then instead of putting adhesive back here, I'm going to put adhesive on the hinge piece. That way I'm not going to get any glue on here that would attach to my paper. And we're just going to hold that down for a little bit. bring our little Velcro back and attach it. And we have a fun little 3-peak arrow card. And then when we fold it up, our little hinge piece just folds back flat and it goes nicely in the envelope. So some other alternatives that I had, I picked some other papers also from the Celebration catalog that's going on right now, because you can purchase these 2 papers you can get with a $50 product order here in the United States. This one's done with the Dainty Flowers paper. This one's done with the Dandy Designs paper. Now that's a much larger pack of designer series paper, so it's a $100 product order to get those paper, but it comes in lots of geometric designs. This one just happens to be a floral design in purple, and I thought it was kind of fun. So this time I didn't change the papers back and forth, I just kept the papers all the same all the way through. But just 3 different ideas with the 3-peak arrow card. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope it wasn't too confusing. I do have nice clean templates over on my blog post on my website at wingedhorsedesigns.com. So I hope you enjoyed this video this week, and I'll have something different for you next week. So I hope you will come back, and I hope you will like, comment, and share if you enjoyed this video. Have a great week, everyone. Happy trails.